Hello, Chris here. In this 22-part video series, I'm going to show you how to make an animated farm scene like this in Blender. In the previous videos, we made 3 or 4 barns and a silo and applied materials to them. In this video, we're going to make our windmill and apply materials to it. Let's get started. This is what we got up to last time. Now that we made a silo, we need to unhide all the barns we made. So, hold to plus H in the keyboard. This will bring back all the barns. Now we need to move this all into a new collection, so select this one, G to move, Y to move along Y axis and place it here. Now select this all and we need to move this into a new collection, so press select. After selecting all this, press M in the keyboard, then click new collection, then change the name to barn, then click OK. Now if we go to the outliner, we can see the barn 1, 2, 3 and silo are moved to this barn collection. Now we can minimize this using this collapse icon. We can hide this from the viewport by clicking on this eye icon. This will hide it from the viewport. Now we are going to model a windmill. So we need to place the 3D cursor at the center of the scene. So shift plus S, select cursor to world origin. Change this pivot point to median point. Make sure the transform orientation is global. Now we need to add a cube. So shift plus A, mesh, cube. We are in the material preview mode. Go to solid mode. This is easier to see. Then press N in the keyboard to bring out this menu. Change the X and Y dimensions to 0.05. Then change the Z dimension to 6. Now we need to apply the scale. So press Ctrl plus A in the keyboard, then select scale. Now this will turn to 1. Now press N in the keyboard. Now select this cube, go to edit mode using tab. Select all using A, G to move, Z to move along Z axis and 3. Then press enter. This will move 3 meter to the top, which is right at the center. Now this cube is at the ground level, since this is 6 meter long. Now go to wireframe mode, go to vertex selection mode, select the vertices at the top, go to top using numpad 7. Now we need to move this here. So turn on snapping, change this to increment and turn on absolute grid snap. Now G to move and move that to here. As you can see, it is 3 triangles from this here. Now go to object mode using tab, go to solid mode. Now it's got a tilt. Now we need to apply a mirror modifier so that there will be 4 legs. Press N in the keyboard and make sure both the scale and the rotation is correct, which is rotation is 0 for X, Y and Z and scale is X, Y and Z 1. Then press N in the keyboard. Now go to modifier properties, which is this wrench icon. Select add modifier, mirror modifier. As you can see, our modifier is placing the cube to mirroring here. Now we need to mirror it along here, here and here. So in order to do that, go to front view using numpad 1. Go to this option at the right top. Select this and select origins. Now press G in the keyboard and this will move the origin of the object and move it to here. So you can see, since we turned on absolute grid snap and snapping, this will move along the grid. Now go to side view using numpad 3, G again and move it to here. Now if we go to numpad 7 and go to top view, we can see the location of the origin of this cube. By pressing N, you can see 1 meter in the X and 1 meter in the Y and 0 in the Z, which is right in the middle of this grid. Now turn on the origins option, then press N in the keyboard to hide. Now go to the mirror modifier properties and change this to X and Y. This will place 4 legs correctly. Now turn on clipping. Now select the object, go to edit mode using tab. Now we need to place loop cuts in this model. So Ctrl plus R in the keyboard, increase it to your preferred number, then left click and right click to cancel any movement. Go to this properties window that will pop up. Change the number of cuts to 10. Now minimize this window. Now we need to select these loop cuts. So You only need to select these loop cuts. Currently, these edges are selected too. Go to edge selection mode. As you can see here, these edges are all selected. We don't need that. Go to wireframe mode. Go to front view using them.Then. We need to select that individually. Make sure we are in edge selection mode. Then box select this. Then shift and box select the rest of them. Now we selected all those loop cuts. Make sure nothing else is selected. Now zoom into one of the loop cuts, then Ctrl+B in the keyboard and bevel it like this. Now we got faces in that model. Now we need to place a loop cut here. So Ctrl+R in the keyboard, left click and slide the loop cut to here. Now go to solid mode, go to face selection mode, select this face, then Control and click on this face. This will select that faces. This region, go to solid mode, then shift select this face. So shift select, this will deselect it, and then shift and right click again. This will make this face the active object. Make sure this long face is the active object and that face loop is selected. Then go to select, check or deselect. This will select all the small faces. We need to extrude them now. So go to front view using them.Then. Turn off snapping, E to extrude, X to extrude along X axis and place it here. Now as you can see, these faces are all tilted. So go to this pivot point, change it to individual origins. Make sure this is global. As you can see, we have selected all those faces right now. Go to front view again. S to scale, X to scale among X axis, then press 0, then enter. This will correct the tilt of all that faces. Now we need to move these faces here. Make sure clipping is turned on in the mirror modifier. G to move, X to move along X axis and move it here. Then G again, X to move along X axis. As you can see, since we turned on clipping, this is clipped it to the second face here. Now we don't need these inside faces, as you can see. So make sure all that inside faces are selected. Then press X in the keyboard, then select faces. This will delete all the inside faces, as you can see. Now we need to do the same here. So go to solid mode. Select this face. And control and left click on this face. This will select the faces from that face to the bottom. Then shift and left click on this face. This will deselect it. Then shift and left click again. This will select it and make it the active object. Now select, check or deselect. This will deselect the big faces, as you can see here. Now we need to extrude them. E to extrude, Y to extrude along the Y axis and place it here. We need to change the tilt, so make sure it is in the individual origins. S to scale, Y to scale among Y axis, then press 0 and then enter. This will correct the tilt. Now we need to move this along the Y axis. G to move, Y to move along Y axis and place it here. Since clipping is turned on, G, Y, this will correct all the faces tilt. Now go to wireframe mode, make sure all that inside faces are selected. Press X in the keyboard, then select faces. This will delete all those inside faces. Now if you forgot to select all those faces, or right click or left click and you lost all the selection of those faces, you can select them by going to front view or side view and box selecting that faces like this if you didn't delete them. Now you don't have any inside faces. Now go to solid mode and go to this face, select this face, E to extrude, X to extrude along X axis and place it here. Then G to move, X to move along X axis. As you can see, it's clipped properly. Now we don't need this inside face, so press X in the keyboard, then select faces. Now go to wireframe mode. As you can see, we have a an inside face right here. Now press Alt in the keyboard, then press M, then select by distance. You'll get a message says removed 2 vertices. Click to deselect all, then select this inside face as you can see here. Then press X in the keyboard, select faces. This will delete all the inside faces. Now go to solid mode. As you can see, our supporting leg is looking good. Now we need to make the leaves for our windmill. Now go to vertex selection mode. Select this vertex, Shift plus S, cursor to selected. This will place the 3D cursor at this point. Now we need to add a cube. If we add a cube, it will get a mirror modifier to it automatically. So we don't need that. So now go to object mode using tab. Now we need to add a cube here. Shift plus A, mesh, cube. Now we need to scale this cube. Press N in the keyboard. Change the X and Y and Z dimensions to 0.05. Now we need to apply the scale. So Ctrl plus A, select scale. Now this will turn to 1. Press N in the keyboard to hide the window. G to move, Z to move along Z axis and move this here. Now go to edit mode using tab. Go to face selection mode. Then select this bottom face. Then turn on snapping and change this to face project. Then G to move, Z to move along Z axis and place it over this face. This will place that face on this surface. We don't need that inside face, so press X in the keyboard, select faces. This will delete that inside face. Now select this top face, go to front view using numbered 1. G to move, Z to move along Z axis and place it here. Now select all using A key, go to front view, then come out of front view, Shift plus D, then press escape, then turn off snapping, G to move, Y to move along Y axis and place it here. As you can see, we got 2 supporting beams. Now select this face and shift select this face, Shift plus S, cursor to selected. This will place the 3D cursor here. Now we need to add a cylinder, Shift plus A, cylinder. Then go to this menu, change the vertices to 16. We don't need 32 vertices. Then minimize this window, S to scale and scale it to here. Like this. Now we need to rotate this, R to rotate, X to rotate among X axis, 90 to rotate 90 degree. Then press enter. Now go to wireframe mode, go to front view, G to move, Z to move along Z axis and place it like this. Now go to solid mode, select this face, G to move, Y to move along Y axis and place it here. Then G to move, Y to move along Y axis and place it a little backwards. Now E to extrude and extrude it like this. Then S to scale and scale it to here, as you can see. Now go to edge selection mode, press Alt and left click on this edge, Ctrl plus B to bevel. Increase the number of cuts to 4 using scroll wheel. Then go to face selection mode, select this face, G to move, Y to move along Y axis and place it like this. Now select this face, G to move, Y to move along Y axis, E to extrude, S to scale, E to extrude again, and S to scale again. Then go to side view using number 3, E to extrude and extrude it here. And we need to bevel this. Go to edge selection mode, press Alt and left click on this edge, Ctrl plus B to bevel and like this. Then Alt and select this one, S to scale and scale it like this. Then G to move, Y to move along Y axis and place it here. So you can see it's looking good. Now go to face selection mode, select this face, then we need to extrude this, E to extrude, extrude it like this. Make sure we are in face selection mode, press Alt and left click on this edge, this will select that face loop. Now we need to extrude it, E to extrude, S to scale, Shift Y to not scale among Y axis and extrude it like this. Now select this face, Ctrl plus to increase the selection to here. Then G to move, Y to move along Y axis and place it like this. Now go to object mode. Now we need to make our leaves. So select this all by box selecting. Press H in the keyboard to hide. We need to place a 3D cursor at the center of the scene. Shift plus S, cursor to world origin. Now we need to add a plane. Shift plus A, mesh, plane. Press period in the numpad to focus on that. Select this plane. Go to edit mode using tab. Go to top view. Go to vertex selection mode. Select these two vertices. S to scale, Y to scale among y-axis and scale it like this. And S to scale, Y to scale among y-axis and scale it little like this. Now select these two. S to scale, Y to scale among y-axis and like this. So it's looking good. And we need to place a loop cut here. So Control plus R and increase the number to 3. Left click, right click to cancel any movement. Select this vertex at the center. G to move, X to move along x-axis and place it here. Then select these two vertices. G to move, X to move along x-axis and place it like this. Now select the center one, go to front view using numpad 1, G to move, Z to move along Z axis and move it here. Go to wireframe mode, select these two vertices, G to move, Z to move along Z axis and place it in the center. Now select this one, go to this view, G to move, Z to move along Z axis and make it a curve like this. You can see that by going to front view, make sure it is like a curve. Then go to object mode. So you can see it's looking good. Now we need to bevel these three vertices. So select them. Control plus V in the keyboard. Nothing will happen. Then press V in the keyboard to bevel the vertex. You don't need this many vertex. Use the mouse scroll wheel to reduce the number to a total of 3 and bevel it like this. Now our leaf got no thickness to it, so go to modifier properties, add modifier, solidify modifier. Go to object mode using tab, press N in the keyboard and make sure the scale is 1. If the scale is not 1, this solidify modifier will not work properly. Then increase the number to 0.02. Now it's looking good. Then press N in the keyboard. Now we got our leaf. We need to make a tilt to this leaf. So R to rotate, X to rotate among x-axis, then press 75, then enter. Since we rotated it only 75 degrees, we will get a tilt like this. Now we need to bring back everything. So Alt plus H in the keyboard, this will bring back this one. Since we hide the collection, it will not be back. Select this leaf, go to front view using numpad 1, G to move, and move it here. Make sure it is like that. G to move and place it here. Then go to side view using numpad 3. Select this one. Go to wireframe mode. G to move. Y to move along y-axis and place it like this. So you can see it's not looking correct. G to move. Z to move along z-axis and place it correctly. Go to front view using numpad 1, then G to move, X to move along x-axis and place it like this. Then go to solid mode. Then move this correctly. G to move, Y to move along y-axis and place it correctly. Now it's looking good, as you can see. Maybe we need to reduce this thickness if you want. If you want to do that, go to wireframe mode, select this one. Go to edit mode using tab. Select that vertices, change this to normal, then S to scale, Y to scale among y-axis for that part and scale it like this. Then change this to global back again. Go to object mode using tab, go to solid mode. Now it's looking good. Now we need to make more than one leaf. So go to front view using numpad 1, select the leaf, go to pivot point and change it to 3D cursor. Select this one, go to edit mode using tab. Now go to face selection mode, select this face, Control plus plus to increase the selection and select it to here. Then Shift plus S, cursor to selected. This will place the 3D cursor at the center of this little cylinder. Now go to object mode using tab, Since we changed the pivot point to 3D cursor, if I rotate this using R, it will rotate like this. Then press escape to cancel the rotation. Select this leaf, Alt plus D in the keyboard to link duplicate. Press R in the keyboard, Y to rotate among Y axis, then press 30° to rotate 30, then press enter. As you can see, it duplicated and place it here. Now we need to repeat the previous process, so Shift plus R in the keyboard. This will do the previous rotation like this. Now we got a total of 12 leaves, so it is looking good. Since this is a link duplication, you can change the leaf properties by going to tab, then go to vertex selection mode. I'm going to change this thickness of the leaf, so select these vertices, change this to normal, S to scale, Y to scale among Y axis, and escape. Currently the pivot point is 3D cursor, change it to median point, S to scale, Y to scale among Y axis, and increase it like this. Now it's looking good. Change this to global again, then go to object mode using tab. Since this was a link duplication, changing one will change all. Now we got our leaves. Since we are going to animate this part of this object, we need to make this into a single object. We can do that by going to select this object, go to edit mode using tab. We need to separate like this one. So go to face selection mode. Since this is selected, if it's not, select this face, increase selection by Ctrl plus plus and like this. Then press P in the keyboard, then select selection. This will separate it into a new object. Go to object mode, select this one. As you can see here, this is a single object. Then select this one, right click, set origin to geometry. This will place the origin of that object to here. Now go to side view using number 3, select all this, control and box select to deselect this one. Make sure this is the active object by pressing shift and right clicking on it, as you can see here. Now we got solidify modifier to this leaves. You don't need to change the thickness, so right click, convert to mesh. As you can see, a solidify modifier is applied. Otherwise, you have to go to every single leaf and apply it one by one. We don't need that. That's tedious to do that. So go to side view using number 3. Select this whole, control and box select this one to deselect it. Make sure this is the active object by shift and left clicking on it. Now we need to join them. So control plus J in the keyboard. This will join these objects into a single one. Since this is got a mirror modifier, we can join this. If you want, you can apply the mirror modifier, but I'm not going to do that. Maybe you can do it if you want. Then select this object, shift select this object. We're going to parent all these objects, so select this one first, shift select this one, shift select this one last. So if we move this one, this will all move with it. So in order to do that, Control plus P in the keyboard, select object keep transform. Now if we select this one and G to move, it will move with it. Everything will move with this one. Then press escape to cancel the movement. But in any case, if I select this one and R to rotate, everything will rotate it. Then press escape. But since this is a child of this parent, if I select this one and press R, then Y to rotate among Y axis, we can rotate this individually. That way we can animate this object. And press escape to cancel the rotation. So our windmill is ready. This is a little big, I think. So S to scale and scale it like this. We need to apply the scale, Control plus A, then select scale. Make sure the scale is 1 for all the objects. As you can see here, we can animate this object at the end of the course by placing it properly. Now we need to apply materials to this one. We have materials for our barn and the silo. I'm going to apply the silo's metal material to this one and the red material to this one. We need to unhide everything, so go to this outliner and click on this eye icon. Go to material preview mode, select this leaf material, then go to material properties, then go to this drop down and select metal material. This will apply the metal material to that object. Now select this one and select this red paint material. Now select this one, go to this one, select wood material. So you can see here, this is looking good. I don't like this red color for this one, so select this one. You need to make a new material from this. So click on this paper icon which says new material, add a new material, select this one. This will duplicate this red paint material and make it into a new one. Change this to metal 2. I'm going to change this red color to a blue color. Increase the value a little. Then go to this metallic option, change it to 1. I'm going to reduce the roughness a little. So you can see here, now it's looking good. If you want, you can apply a different material to this one, maybe a wood material. So select this one, go to edit mode using tab, select this face, then press L. Shift select this face and press L again by placing mouse cursor over it. So you can see we need to add a new material slot. So click on this plus icon, then select the wood material, then select the wood, click assign. This will add the wood material to that one. Now go to object mode using tab. As you can see, it's looking good right now. Now save this file, save. Since I already saved it, given a name, I just need to save the file. Now we need to move these objects into a new collection. So box select them all, press M in the keyboard, then click new collection, change the collection name to Windmill, then click OK. As you can see, this will move these objects into a Windmill collection. Now we can hide this if you want from the viewport, and barn collection, we can hide that if you want to. We didn't rename these objects, so go to this menu. Right now it's saying cube, and plane, and etc. Select this one, change the name by double clicking, change this to base, and select this one and change it to moto. Select this one and change this name to leaves. As you can see, it's looking good. Now we named our objects properly. Select this collapse icon. We have 3 barns, a silo, and a windmill. Save the file again. Now we got 3 barns, a silo, and a windmill with materials in our scene. In the next video, we are gonna make our tractor and apply materials to it. If you like this video so far, please give a like to this video in the bottom. If you want to get more videos like this and you're new to this channel, you can subscribe to this channel using the subscribe button at the bottom. And if you want to get notified while I release new videos, you can press the bell icon below. That's it for this video. See you in the next one. Bye for now.